From our studios in Scottsdale, Arizona, welcome back. This is Retirement News Online. You can find out more at retirementnewsonline.com, where we talk about, well, retirement and retirement planning. And today we're joined by Rick Orred, founder of Orred Financial in Willmar, Minnesota. And today, one of the biggest challenges retirees face isn't just saving enough money, it's knowing how to spend it confidently once retirement begins. Now, from creating dependable income to balancing lifestyle goals with long-term security, Rick helps retirees and his clients build plans designed to make their money last. And today we're going to talk about one of the retirement's biggest questions. How do you spend your money in retirement without running out of it? Which is a good question. That's a good place, because that's what you do. You're supposed to make money last as long as they do and hopefully beyond. And let's start by talking about, what do you think maybe the biggest mistake retirees make, even in the way that they think, as they go from accumulating to actually generating income? And a lot of them, I think, sometimes fall into the I'm just hoping it all works out kind of mental state.
Sure. Great question, Scott. I think one of the things that folks really need to understand is the fact that you have to really begin with the end in mind. Meaning this is that you have to understand that you're on a continuous journey. Okay, you're going up the mountain and you're accumulating assets. You're putting money onto your accounts, your 401ks, you're saving some monies, but ultimately you're going to get to the top of the mountain. You're going to look down the mountain, and you're going to say, "Wow, that's a pretty steep mountain, or that I got to get down now." And how does that work? And what we do in our firm is we really help clients understand how the distribution plan works, or how the distribution income streams work. And by doing that, by understanding, how the distribution plans work, allows us to plan in pre-retirement, okay, as they get there, so we can position their assets in order to safely come down the mountain. Because, frankly, we can't have any do-overs. Once we get there, we're there. And I think so many times people get to that spot, and they think, "Oh, I got to back off on my retirement. I got to back off on my growth." Well, no, you don't, because the longevity. I mean, that's an incredible, hurdle that we're facing. Could be 20, 30, even 40 years into retirement, and we can't let that growth asset basically provide the necessity for income without, or the certainty of that. And so I'm sure you run into some people who start retirement. They have enough money. They've got a kind of a plan in place, but they're afraid to spend it because they start thinking about healthcare costs, and we have inflation, and we have all these policy changes and taxes and stuff like that. And in some ways, you have to manage everything. Manage their emotions. In other ways, and as in some ways, you're a therapist. But talk about how you handle, clients right now who are looking at a market now that's come way back. We still have geopolitical problems. Hey, the midterms are coming up. What's going to happen there? How do you manage all that? Well, another great question. We can look at history, and history tells us that this is nothing new. I mean, we've had geopolitical problems. We've had geopolitical issues for years and years. What's interesting is that the market is a very resilient. It's a very resilient entity. But I think people get so they get gripped with so much fear that they don't understand that, we do have inflation. We do have all these types of things, all these arrows that are coming at us. And to help them understand, to position their assets today so that they provide some certainty later is absolutely key. Because we can't, the market's going to fluctuate. It's going to go up, it's going to go down, but everything changes once we start taking distribution off. When we start taking money off of our assets, that's when the game changes.
You're talking about actual planning is what you're doing there, not just kind of just winging it, because I think you find a lot of clients when they start working with you, they've been accumulating. Maybe they've been working with an advisor or a broker or something like that, and they're not really focused on that. So let's go back to what you mentioned, which was longevity risk, which living longer seems like it's a good thing. 25, 30, 40 years in retirement. Problem is you got to pay for all that. So how do you protect and then put together something that can protect what they've worked so hard to build, minimize risk, but then still get growth because they're mutually exclusive. To protect, we have to de-risk. To grow, we have to add some risk. Where's the in-between there?
Wow, these are great questions. People get kind of, when they get to a certain point in life, they think, well, typical financial planning methodologies say that, when you get close to retirement, you're supposed to tone down your assets, you're supposed to go to a more conservative assets, but as we talked about, longevity is a big risk, okay? People are living longer. We don't have a strategy of hope. We can't have a strategy of hope. We provide certainty. We provide a level of certainty with all of our clients, and I really help them understand how money works and how money works in retirement, not just on a pre-retirement basis, but actually from a distribution side. That's the key item, because like I said, the market's going to go up, the market's going to go down, and if you think about it this way, it depends upon when you were actually born. Because we've had all these different times that the markets have had great runs, whether it's 30 years or 40 years or 50 years. But the problem is if we retire in a 2008, okay, and all of a sudden, boom, we get 30 to 40% of our assets are locked off the top. Well, that provides that forces people to say, well, I'm going to postpone retirement for a couple of years. And so I think really helping people understand the power of money and how money works in their personal economic environment, yeah. Okay, and get them to understand that it's not all these products that all these advisors do out here. It's actually a strategy. When you put a strategy in place and an efficient one, then you can squeeze a lot of money out of a lot of different things.
And it has to be versatile too. I'm going to ask you this: when at the end of the day, when you're talking to somebody, how does the person watching this know that they're working with the right advisor? Because not every advisor focuses in on distribution, right? Some of them are just asset managers and they accumulate. And they're going to go 4% rule, probably going to help you 4 or 5%. We should be okay. You talked about sequence of returns risk earlier, which is huge. Starting to take income when the market has a big downturn is a lot worse than it happening toward the end. I mean, it really shortens. Well, it increases the chance that you're not going to have enough. Sure. And so, again, talk about that. How do they know if they're working with the right guy or girl?
Well, in the typical financial planning world, you have advisory firms, that work strictly with the investment side. You also have the actuarial science or the insurance type of an advisor. What we do at Orred Financial is that we marry those two together, typically like a pension was created. Prior to in the 1980s, there was a lot of pensions out there, defined benefit pension plans. People didn't need to save because their employer or their entity was saving for them, okay? Well, what we help them understand is that, okay, now that's gone. That's gone. The 401k came on the market in the 80s and said, hey, we're the great panacea, and just put all this money into there and you'll be fine. Well, what people don't understand is that they can withstand a downturn as they're going up the mountain, but the day they turn around and at the top of the mountain, all of a sudden their assets change and go 180 degrees down the mountain, all bets are off.
Yeah. And 100%. They're not contributing anymore, right? So they're stopped, right?
They're correct. That's
really,
correct.
Really important time.
Correct. Yeah. And so people have to understand how those distribution streams work in retirement in order to plan appropriately today to position themselves for that point in time to say, hey, I've provided some certainty with my assets. Now I can call Rick, we can flip the trigger on, and basically marrying everything in the financial services industry together in order to benefit them, not just managing money or selling products or those types of things. No, that's not it. It's the ultimate strategy that gets you safely back down the mountain. 75% of the deaths happen on the descent, and we have to make sure that we get down there.
You're talking about Mount Everest. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Mount Everest,
more dangerous
that's correct.
Coming down because you're tired. Like retirees, they're kind of tired, but
correct.
It's time to go have some fun. Thanks for talking with us today. That's Rick Orred, Orred Financial, founder and president in Willmar, Minnesota, a beautiful town. If you want to have some more information, you can go to retirementnewsonline.com, but feel free to reach out to Rick I think you get the idea he knows what he's talking about. This is Retirement News Online. Thanks for watching.